yeah, I talked a little bit about what I was working on this week. It's been a lot of boring stuff, a lot of, I launched my shop, a lot of finance stuff, a lot of figuring stuff out. I saw a lot of familiar faces and kind of names in the orders, which is pretty awesome. Thank you so much. It's pretty dope. And some people are starting to get them now and stuff like that. So I don't know. I'm pretty excited. Hope you guys like. Besides that, Colo coming soon. I made some last minute switches on some hardware and some choices. That's what happens when projects sit around too long. You start getting some scope creep and thinking of all the stuff you can do. So anyways, that's coming soon. And yeah, so I hope you're excited for that. It's going to be a little bit different, kind of moving some of my public stuff out there. Out to a colo. We'll see how that goes. It's going to be interesting. So anyways, if you have something you want to share, throw it in chat. Let's talk about it. Let me grab a sip really quick. Yeah, the hair is wild today. I don't care. I'm going with it. It's curly, half bed head, high top, something going on. Pretty awesome though, because yeah, like I don't mind it. I think it embarrasses my wife. Like I went to we went to Target, we went to Goodwill, we went to a couple places this morning, and went just like this. It cracks me up. It's kind of like, can you put a hat on? Anyways, let's get into chat. Let's see how you're doing. Let's see. Malik, hey. Oh, I'm so scared. I want to zoom this in because. Oh, should I do it? I'm not going to do it. I don't want to mess up chat. Just so I can see a little better. Malik, I'm going with Malik. KK. Hey, Mr. Tim. Anyway, how's it going? Good to see you. Yakto, how's it going? YWS, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Thought I saw YWS activity. Maybe that was going on somewhere else. Modest M, happy Saturday. We saw that. PC Geek, how's it going, man? Popcorn time. That is right. Kick back and grab a snack, and let's chat. Man of War, hello, long time no see. For me, at least, work. I hear you. Same for me. Work. I think we're all in work mode right now. We have, spring coming up, and then summer, and yeah, and then we're in work mode. Plus, like figuring out what to do with the kids mode. I notice. I don't have kids, but summertime, parents are always just like, what the heck? Kids have, now they have summer activities and it gets even busier. But yeah, good to see you, Man of War. Towley, how's it going? Got my hoodie and duck yesterday. Need to find a place for the duck. Yeah, you could, I put mine right on my desk. Mine's right here. It's like the cutest duck ever. Yeah, but I'm glad you like it. I hope you like it. Yeah, let me know. I put mine on my desk. I don't know. I have a little, I line things up on my desk. Now that I have this little shelf above my desk that kind of raises it up, it's fun to do. I have some more stuff coming. I have so many ideas that I want to do, but it's like, do I roll the dice and, roll the dice on some of my ideas? I think I'm going to. Was that 2 minutes? I don't know. How's it going? Spaticoli. How's it going? Cyber Night afternoon, y'all. Still messing around with Rails and another little Go project. Awesome. Yeah, you were messing around last week with Ruby on Rails, ROR, and I didn't recognize the acronym. This week, a little Go project. Yeah, it's most Go projects are pretty little. I mean, they might be complex, but the compiled binary that you have, the output is usually typically pretty small, and that's one of the huge benefits of Go, among other things. Let's see, Jen Orion, how's it going? Good to see you. Rebuilding a cluster from VMware to Proxmox. That is pretty awesome. So I have a feeling a lot of that's going on. Last week there was a little bit of talk of that, but you're rebuilding your cluster from VMware to Proxmox, and everybody's probably like, yep, I totally get it. I know why. We don't even need to ask why. But if you do need to ask why, yeah, it's the whole Broadcom takeover of VMware and then shut down and 10x the cost and take away the free stuff. But yeah, dude, let me know how it goes, man. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of people now that are doing the same thing. I'd love to know some of your pain points. I have so many tutorials on Proxmox, but I need to maybe look at them with a fresh eye. Some of them are pretty old now. I thought about redoing a whole entire series on Proxmox, but then again, like, yeah, I don't know. That'd be a lot of work. So beneficial to someone, I would, but I think there's plenty of Proxmox content there now. Spettacoli. That's how I'm going to say it. Spettacoli. I just set up Windows Server 2025 VM. Hey, sounds awesome. I don't know much about Windows Server 2025. I assume it's pretty awesome. I bet it's... Are you doing Core? Are they still doing Core? I assume they're Windows Core. Yeah, let me know how that goes. I don't have any licenses for Windows stuff outside of desktop. Yeah, I'd love to play with Windows Server sometime. It's been a while. I think I did 2023? I don't remember. No, not 2023. It was like 2012 R2 or something. Or maybe 2018. I don't know. I thought it was 2012 R2, one of the first ones where they released Core. And I was like, hey, this is cool. I'm actually going to run Hyper-V on Windows Core server because who needs the UI? But then I had to learn a ton of PowerShell and get things working. And it turned out to be a little bit harder than I thought it was going to be. But pretty awesome nonetheless. But yeah, let me know how it goes. Lesser Train. Woo! Working on the Turing Pi. Incorporated the side hustle. Question, however, with something DNS is correct. My browser sometimes gives a Cipher error issues. Any suggestion? Lesser Train. A lot going on there. I don't know where you're trying to go. I assume you're trying to go somewhere else. If you're getting Cipher issues, it typically means that you're using a lower version of TLS than the browser thinks is safe, right? So you might want to look at, I don't know if you're creating these certificates. I have no idea what's going on because half of it's blinked out and some of it's talking about Turing Pi. I apologize for not fully understanding what's going on. But anyways, in general, if you get Cipher errors, it just means, hey, when they're making that negotiation to connect to TLS, the client saying, hey, like I want, this or higher, and the server sending back something that might be this or higher, but is still considered maybe not as safe as the others. So anyways, I think there's, I don't know, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. I think I'm getting this right if I can understand what's going on. Funny enough, I just forced 1.3 my TrueNAS today. I was playing around in the settings and it said 1.2 or 1.3 TLS. I'm like, who wants 1.2? I'm the only one connected to it anyways. I forced 1.3. Why not? But anyways, yeah, Cipher issues, it's going to be something between your browser and that certificate. And hopefully, it could be pretty simple to go on your server and either generate a new certificate or yeah, or something like that. But yeah, give it a shot. Towley, building a new NAS in a UNAS 810A. I don't know what a UNAS 810A is. Sounds pretty cool though, if NAS is in the name. 160 terabytes, nice. So 80 usable. All right. So this means you're doing probably, if it's building a new, I don't even know the storage backing behind it, but you're getting half. So I'm assuming it's going to be mirrored VDEVs. I'm assuming it's on ZFS. If it's not, then you're just doing a parity. You're doing mirrors all the way down. Of storage goodness. Now I need to find HomeLab uses to take advantage of the storage, huh? I think I could think of a few. Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, so you got a ton of storage, right? And you're like, okay, now what do I do with it? Now what do I do with it? I got to fill this out. Well, I think you're in a good spot. Because I'm usually on the other side, like I need more storage and I'm running out of physical space to put these, drives into. But I think you're in a good spot. You could, download some Linux ISOs like a lot of people do, save them forever, or who knows. Me personally, mine's a combination of recorded video, tons of B-roll for all my YouTube stuff, and then I use Plex with recorded TV, and we have 4 tuners, and it's recording TV. I feel like all day long. So, but yeah, that's a good filler. I don't know if you run Plex or MB or whatever. But if you have a TV tuner, that's a good way to fill up some space. I never really had someone ask like, okay, now I have all this space, how do I fill it up? It's usually the other end where, hey, I don't have enough space. What do I do now? But yeah, video, just video in general, ISOs and videos. that's gonna fill up any hard drive for sure. Gold Coast, how you doing? Greetings from Switzerland. Upgrading the firmware of my Real-Link cameras. Hey, that is awesome. I'm a huge fan of upgrading firmware. I don't know, something so satisfying about upgrading firmware. I just love it. So I get excited when there's new firmware. Like Like I got a new a new smart light for my wife yesterday. As soon as I plugged it in and connected to the app, it said firmware update available. I was like, oh yeah, I can't wait for this. I can't wait for this. I don't know, for something in me loves updating firmware. It's just such a low level piece of software, you know, to be able to communicate with the hardware. I don't know. I love it. I love it. And it also means someone still cares about that product. Anyways, so you're doing it on Real-Link cameras. That's awesome. That means, hey, Real-Link still cares about these cameras. It's when you stop getting firmware updates that you should start to wonder if they still care about that product. But awesome. I haven't done stuff with Real-Link cameras. I know RaidOwn does a ton of stuff with them. He has all a pretty awesome setup. Speaking of, I was just on his YouTube channel on a live stream Thursday night. Pretty awesome. So, but awesome. Yeah. Have fun. Make sure the power doesn't go out while you're doing it. I'm not going to go there, but a few times I've accidentally unplugged stuff while firmware is updating. Generally, all right, this is not advice. Generally, it's pretty okay. Firmware is pretty, you know, the software that they write usually has some kind of check in place to say, hey, did I speed last time? Anyways, this is not advice. This is only my experience in the past. It has happened to be before on a couple of things, and it was okay. Still kind of scary. Easy way to create an expensive brick. Romeo Jr. Sup, Chat and Tim. Hey, how's it going? Good to see you. Davius D. Yeah, this was your sub message. Working on your procrastination skills. I think we all are. I'm sure there are a lot of people right now that are procrastinating something that they should be doing right now, but they're like, yeah, Tim's on. Let's see what he's up to. Man, my voice is deep. Right now. This is what not exactly, but when I get sick or I wake up in the middle of the night, it's like, hey, my voice gets super deep. Anyways, Randoneering. Hey, how's it going? Good to see you, dude. Good to see you. Hope you're well. Holding down Chi-Town, right? Man of War says, I migrated TrueNAS servers a little while back, which was a nightmare because I was dumb and forgot to turn on the back on. Cue a week-long sync thing data transfer. Yeah, that kind of stinks. So you migrated TrueNAS servers, and then you forgot to turn on backups. So now you have a long backup or restore to go. Yeah, I've been there before. So when I had a lot less data, I've been there before. Now I always make sure that I have backups. Like everything's in place just in case something goes wrong. Like I just migrated my TrueNAS servers not too while ago, and I was like, okay, snapshot, like right before I shut it down, just in case I had to do a restore or something like that, or so the next snapshot was a little, not as big, but. Yeah, that kind of stinks once you get a lot of data. Yeah, even if you got 10 gig, 10 gig is still going to take a long time if we're talking terabytes and terabytes of data. But good luck. Romeo Jr. finished racking and stacking the new 6U rack last weekend. So now it's time to work on the cable management. Hello. Yeah, I think that's time well spent. I say it a lot, but it's time well spent, especially as things get more complicated. As you have them longer or as you get older, yeah, I think it's time well spent, especially as you have things longer, because any of us, for the most part, can go and rack something up and look at everything and you're like, cool, I know exactly where it is. I know where things are plugged in. But you come back a couple of weeks later, a couple of months later, you're kind of like, what is going on here? And who is the madman that was in here that did all this? That's kind of me all the time, I feel like. So I'm really big on at least organizing cables, labeling cables. I don't get as fancy as putting, using my label maker for everything. For some reason, I love painter's tape and a Sharpie, and that's all it takes for me. I like painter's tape because it peels off really easy. It's like great for anything you need to do, like paint. But even for tech stuff, all of my cables are labeled in painter's tape. Just wrap it around there. Right on there with the Sharpie. It's easy to get off, doesn't leave any residue. So I think it's a good idea. I always said that I'm going to go back with the label maker, but I don't think I'm going to. Painter's tape is so cheap, so easy, and Sharpie's is pretty good too. Romeo Jr. sounds better now. Oh, I must have had some audio issues. Yeah, typical. typical me and Mac stuff, for sure. Which which is funny because hopefully everybody can still hear me. I haven't even checked. I could be talking to myself this whole time. It looks like it. Oh, let's see. The PC Geek Danke für das. Oh, man. Oh, I don't know. I see a Danke. Thank you. Thanks. Für das. Thank you for the Gekschenkabo. I have no idea. I don't know. I know it's German. It's thanking PC Geek for something. Well, thank you, PC Geek, in German for that thing. Gifted sub. Oh yeah, gifted sub. Oh, did PC Geek gift sub? Did I miss something? Totally. Sub goal, PC Geek. Dude, yeah, I totally missed this. Dude, I'm so glad you said that. Dude, PC Geek, I don't know how I missed this in my alerts. Oh, I know why. Because one of my screens doesn't show gifted subs. Dude, thank you so much, PC Geek. I totally jumped over that. Give out 5 gifted subs to the community. Dude, thank you so much. For some reason, the thing that I'm looking at doesn't show gifted subs. Thanks, Stream Elements. I have no idea why. But dude, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. All 5 of you that got those subs. Enjoy your gifted sub from PC Geek. And I'm so glad that Mish2626 wrote Danke für das Gekschenkabo in German so that I would stumble on it and then figure out what it was. Dude, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thanks, PC Geek. Appreciate it. You guys do too much already. Oh, yeah. Yakto, how's it going? Holding down YWS. Working on a Python script to make Cloud-init compatible images for OPNSense. Deploy self-managed routers for my colo customer. Oh, let me think about this. But first of all, YWS, if you don't know Yakto, runs a huge data center out of his garage, but it's not what you think. It's pretty awesome. 442 racks, like it's totally legit. We call it YWS. Sometimes in comments, people are like, "Where is YWS and how do I sign up?" It's pretty great. But anyways, so you're working on a Python script to make a Cloud-init compatible image. Okay, so Python writing code, Cloud-init compatible image. Okay, so you can spin it up really easily for OPNSense. Okay, for OPNSense, so someone could then use a Cloud-init version of OPNSense to deploy to self-managed routers for my colo. Okay, got it. So someone could, if they're in the colo and they want their own routing, and they could just request this Cloud-init image with OPNSense, spin it up to be a router internally. I like it. That sounds pretty awesome. You totally are. He's totally building YWS. Now he's getting automation where people can request virtual routers and stuff like that. I love it. Sounds awesome, man. Bankos 2018. I was just in the loft working on my ADSB and LoRaWAN stuff. Awesome. I forget what LoRa. Oh, that's. I think it's. I forget if it has something to do with air traffic. I think it is. I think that's a signal thing. I could be wrong, but that is awesome. I'd love to get into it. I might soon. It's been in my backlog forever. As soon as I have a gap and content and work, I'm definitely going to be doing some of it, sure, because I think it's awesome. And plus, I live relatively close to an airport. I live about 5 miles from the Minneapolis-St. Paul airport, so we get a lot of air traffic here, and it's pretty sweet. Bankos needed to add vents also, and added a fan, even though it's connected right now. All right, fans too and vents. Oh, in the attic. Oh, in the loft. Okay, in the loft. I was thinking in attic. Yeah, you might need some vents up there. But I assume up there too. So I assume it's getting warm up there, or you just want it to be able to breathe, right? In general, you kind of want your the top of your house, your roof to be able to breathe. Anyway, sounds awesome. I'm looking forward to it. Crazy Stoner, that Crazy Stoner. How's it going? Peace, love. Yo, Tim, what's up? I'd love to hear your opinion about uptime Kuma alternatives. I recently replaced mine with Gatus, which is completely config file based, but I'd also be interested in about other options. Hey, so first of all, like Uptime Kuma, pretty awesome, right? It does a lot of things right. It looks great, allows you to monitor a ton of stuff, has as basically a self-service portal where you get to input all of your endpoints that you want to track. track all kinds of things. You can alert on it. It's great. And then you can create custom status pages. Like, they have gone all out. They, as in the community, the open source community that's been building it. But that developer has gone all out. Like, it is pretty awesome. It is pretty awesome. Funny you mentioned Gatus, because, yeah, I've been looking into Gatus, and I think Gatus is pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. So I haven't looked at a ton of other ones. Like there's a handful of ones. But Gatus is interesting. Gatus is interesting, and you'll figure out pretty soon why I think it's pretty interesting. But I'll just touch on the highlights really quick. So Gatus takes, like you said, a config-based approach where you give it a configuration, and then it creates the UI for you. So instead of doing, having the back office piece, the admin side instead of having the admin side of Uptime Kuma, where you configure your status pages, in Gatus, you give it a configuration, and when it stands up, it starts monitoring its endpoints. So pretty cool, pretty cool. You don't have this division of back-end, admin side, customer-facing. It just becomes the customer-facing thing because you configure it code in YAML. So I think it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. I should have something on it pretty soon too. So stay tuned, and you'll see why I think it's pretty cool. But other than that, alternatives, I've looked at alternatives. I love Uptime Kuma, and I really love Gatus. They take a different approach to Uptime. And then, if I'm doing public stuff, I use Uptime Robot too to monitor my public stuff, which is pretty cool. I think it is. I found out about it from Uptime Kuma because that's what they're trying to make, an open source version of that. So pretty cool. I like monitoring. Oh, another thing I like about Gatus too is it actually will trace stuff over time. I should say this. No, I'm not. I'm gonna give it all away. They track stuff over time, so it has charting too. So if you want to know, how your response times have changed over time, you get that too. And you can use Postgres on the back end. So more to come on that. Maybe Monday. We'll see. But yeah, I agree. It's pretty awesome. It's an up and comer. I'm pretty stoked about it. We're gonna see here in a little bit if it'll replace my Uptime. We'll see. I read this already. Yes, it does. Yeah, it ships worldwide. But you got to be able to stomach the shipping. But it is an option for sure. And the person who fulfills stuff for me, he's all over it. He's pretty awesome. Techno or not. Funny, I was just doing the same, bought online ADSB antenna for using Ultrafeed. Yeah, this is exactly what I want to start looking at too. That sounds awesome. Techno or not. Kev, working on implementing an RMM. Oh, we saw that. Oh, that was on the bits. Okay, I'm starting to see how they do this now. Now I can see that was linked to the bits. Modest Tim. Sorry, I already read that one. Thank you again for the bits. I don't know what RMM is, so maybe you could toss that in chat. But Modest Tim, hey, been working on a lot of new Social Blade stuff this week. Heck yeah, man. You're always working on a few headaches, but really fun. So close to being ready for release. Yeah, man. So I get Social Blade. So if you don't know Social Blade, it's kind of like where you go to see metrics on social activities from people, right? You could look up, I'm on there. I didn't opt in. So Social Blade will scrape data, I assume, scrape data from YouTube and all these other sources, TikTok, and kind of give you an idea of how they're performing, I guess is the best way to put it, which is pretty cool. I'm sure you guys have a ton of architecture going on, probably doing a ton of scraping, probably getting blocked quite a bit, and you got to find out all these interesting ways to get around their blocking or their Cloudflare or their AWS CloudFront stuff. So pretty interesting. But yeah, I'm excited to see the new features, and pretty awesome you're working on it. It's pretty big project. We use the platform APIs. Oh, Modest Tim, good citizen. You're a good citizen. That is awesome. So you use their APIs. Interesting. So yeah, that is interesting. I'd love to chat sometime about that too. Like I totally get it. Like I wrote, APIs against YouTube to show my sub numbers on my LED screen over there. But they have limits, right? They have limits. If you're if you're using their API to go against like thousands of accounts, man, you guys either got your token limit extended or you have lots of accounts doing it. But Pretty awesome, man. Pretty awesome. But yeah, great product, and man, you guys are busy. So interesting. We have a vendor. Yeah, you have a generous quota. Okay, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Not me. When I scrape my own YouTube stuff, I'm saying scrape, but when I use the YouTube API myself, I can only do it like once every 10 minutes or so, and I do that all day long. If I get within 10 or 15 minutes and call a couple of APIs, I've spent all of my quota. So I run out of tokens, and then I get 429s or whatever. But you guys are pretty big. Awesome. Good to hear it, dude. Man of War. Now I'm setting up my media stack so I can get caught back up with my favorite stuff. Using a couple of mini PCs, running Proxmox and Docker servers VM to segment stuff. Awesome. Got any tips on how to keep compose and config files centralized? I'm thinking about self-hosting in Git, but I'm not too familiar with these details yet. Yeah, so a couple of things. Let's break this down. Getting your media stack back up. You're using a couple mini PCs, running Proxmox and Docker servers. That is awesome. VMs to segment stuff. That is awesome. I've done a ton of that. So any tips on how to keep compose and config files centralized? This one's tough. This one is tough. Yeah, so I would recommend putting them in Git. Absolutely. I would put them in Git because you get version control. You can see what changed. You might be able to automate some stuff. But when it comes to Docker and compose files, it's really hard to get those things automated, pushed out in a GitOps fashion. So I would put them there. But, it would be great if this probably exists somewhere, but, it'd be great if you could connect to that Git repo and actually deploy those changes as you make changes, rather than copy and paste that over all the time. Anyways, that aside, you're asking about just source control and not the GitOps part. I would absolutely put them in source control. That is in source control, like Git, GitLab, Git whatever, Git T, Git something. Git, some Git. Absolutely put in source control, because then you could see, changes over time. Share it with people if you want. You could get, feedback on stuff, or have people open pull requests if it's open source. And even if not, then you get to Git and get distracting time. See, hey, what changed last time? But then you kind of have, a little bit of split brain scenario where you're doing things in Git, and then you updated that, and you got to remember to copy those and paste those in server and have them running. And then go with all that. So I'm sure there's some hacky ways to make GitOps work that way, but there hasn't been a lot of focus on getting GitOps working with just Docker, because a lot of people are doing it with Kubernetes. So, but you don't want to go there. You don't want to go there. That'd be scope creep to the 10th power. But anyways, yeah, put it in Git. Put it in Git. We'll not talk about how you deploy it. Put it in Git. Absolutely. That's great. And if you're new to Git, it's a great skill to learn, for sure. PC Geek, I'm working on resting this weekend. Got COVID booster yesterday, and it's making me tired. Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, I hope you feel better. I feel like I got COVID light right now. Waking up, feeling hungover, kind of have a headache all day, kind of stuffy. So I don't know. I got something going on. But dude, yeah, rest up, man. Rest up. Yeah, the booster can make you a little loopy for a while. Romeo Jr., do you have any plans on making a video on the new Cloud Gateway Ultra and the Ultra family? Hey, Romeo Jr. Possibly. I actually have one. Yeah, I have one. Possibly. Just depends. I'm always curious what people would like to see from them. Because a lot of the times, it's a combination of specs, right? Physical hardware, and then the software that they already provide. And so, a lot of times, you could read the specs and look at it. The hardware, that's I guess included in the specs, and then you have the software, which probably hasn't changed from the last time. So yeah, it's a tough one. I have thought about it. I thought about doing something short, but I've had so many things in the pipeline, haven't been able to get to it. But let me know, specifically what you would want to see. But the Cloud Gateway Ultra, I think, does look pretty awesome. It's basically like a slightly lower, lowercase L, lower power UDM Pro. Runs tons of apps. It can do up to gigabit IPS, IDS. Has dual WAN with failover. It can run, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 apps. I forget the count. Can manage up to 30 UniFi devices and support up to 300 clients. So I think it's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. I was a huge fan of the UniFi Express, which had Wi-Fi 6 built in. It's basically the light version of the cloud gateway, super light, but it was perfect for my dad. He's actually using it now. So yeah, let me know what you want to see. Be interested to know what you want to see specifically. PC Geek, I do have my Plex server set up so I can record over the air TV with HDHomerun. Yeah, man. That's that's one of the biggest reasons I have Plex is to record over the TV. Mainly because there's lots of random things on TV and we don't have to pay for Peacock or Hulu, and we get to skip commercials. So it's pretty fun. I like doing it. And plus, I've been doing it for so long. I mean, going all the way back to even before Windows XP Media Center Edition, I had an ATI All-in-Wonder, and I used to record TV that way. So going way back. There was always something that was so fun about recording TV. Probably because I used to do it a lot too with VCRs. You can imagine that. Oh, Xavier D, choo-choo. Yeah, man. Yeah. Oh, here we go. RMM is remote monitoring and oh, gotcha, man. Kev, gotcha. Okay, remote monitoring and managing. Gotcha. So yeah, you're setting that up. Gotcha. Let's see. Nice. I hope you are feeling, I don't know, Benkos, feeling better maybe? I don't know. Beating all the non-profit and a small handful of for-profit take advantage of the free subs. I don't know what you're talking about. Beating all the non-profit and a small handful of for-profit to take advantage of the free subs. Tech or not? I'm missing some context. Nice, perfect number. Colo isn't cheap. What's your use case for going colo? Hey, Benny Bins. Yeah, good question. It's not cheap. It is absolutely not cheap. It's not. If you think you're like going to get a deal because you're going to save on power, you're absolutely not. It's more expensive than running it home. I had this idea, and I learned it's not cheap, and I didn't go into it thinking it would be cheap. But I thought, hey, everyone's doing the cloud. Maybe it's fairly priced, but it's kind of not at all. They're competing with people. They're competing with the cloud, first of all, for I guess mind share, and then on top of that, since so many people are using cloud services running from public cloud, I think the prices of colo stuff has gone up. So, anyways, my use case is really like, hey, I had these 3 1U servers that used to be in my HomeLab rack. Replaced those with Intel NUCs. I started thinking like, well, what do I want to use these for? Like, I have all this compute kind of sitting around. And then I got the idea, hey, maybe I can put them in a colocation, and there's lots of places to do it here in the Twin Cities area. Started looking, realized that it was kind of expensive, and then someone reached out to me here local and said, hey, we got some rack space. We're doing some stuff. You're more than welcome to use our rack. So I was like, okay, that sounds awesome. So yeah, met some folks here in the Twin Cities area who share rack space, and they said they have some extra rack space, and I could tack on if I want. So yeah, we're gonna see what it's all about. But for me, the use case is okay. So let's move some of my public stuff out of my house, right? Instead of hosting some of my public stuff out of my house, let's move it to a co-location where I have a redundant internet, power, me not pulling plugs or shutting stuff down accidentally, or switch, like things like that, to where you maybe the other end are using my documentation, get to use my documentation without it going down. So it's going to be fun stuff like that. I'm going to do some GitOps stuff. Obviously, I'm going to run Kubernetes there, going to run in K3S on the edge, see how it goes. Kind of running it here on the edge, but I think I'm going to take even more of a GitOps approach when I get there. Yeah, so that's it. I mean, I've still absolutely got all of my home stuff here. All of the other stuff is going to be here. I just wanted to try it out. It was like new to me, and like when I will admit, when I saw the price, I was kind of like, it's not going to work for me. And then I had someone reach out and say, hey, we're here in the Twin Cities. We got some extra space. And I was like, cool. You know, now I can try it out. But yeah, I'm still having all of my other stuff. Like my NAS is not going there. It's these 3 1U servers that are going to be really Proxmox servers with Kubernetes, and just running some of my public services there so that, you know, I have some better uptime. So you can get to my documentation. Really, I'm not running a ton of stuff, but at the same time, there have been days where my documentation is down and people tell me. I'm like, yeah, sorry, I had to, you know, shuffle servers around. Yeah, sorry, I just upgraded the firmware on my switches. So anyways, it's more of just kind of exploring and seeing what it's all about. So yeah, good question. I'm exploring it. So don't have the greatest use case. I have an opportunity, and so I'm gonna fill that opportunity with hopefully a decent use case. So, but yeah, more to come when I get it out, because I'm gonna talk about all of this stuff too, like things I didn't know, things I didn't understand. One, it being cost prohibitive, depending on what you want to do. But then, like, how does it even work? You know, how does it work? Do they charge you for electricity? Do they charge you for networking? Those types of things. I'm sure a lot of you people have done this. Me personally, I haven't. Every time I've racked stuff in a colo prior to this, it was paid for by a company. So it's always DNS. Yeah, it is, man. Bloodblight, how's it going? I finally got my Ceph placement calculator working. I have 8D, 4 petabyte pool spanned across 3 nodes with HA. Wait a second. I have 8D. I don't know what 8D is. I have 8D, 4P pool span. Sure, this is Ceph terms that I'm not fully understanding, but sounds awesome. Ceph Cluster sounds like a ton of data, and hopefully it's all working. 8 data, 4 parity. Thank you. I thought it was petabytes, but yeah, pretty awesome. How much? So 8 data, 4 parity. Bloodblade. Awesome. How much total? How much total is that? Sounds pretty awesome though. And then it's and then like, what kind of network do you run? Like, what's your network backbone? Is it more than 10? Is it 25? Is it 40? Sounds pretty sweet. But good luck, dude. You'll have to let me know how that goes across nodes. HA. That sounds pretty awesome. PC Geek, didn't even know 2K25 was even out. Oh, the game? 2K25. Whenever I see 2K25, I assume you mean like the basketball game. Yeah, they're always like a year ahead, I think. I don't know. I had to ask my brother. He'll know. He plays everyone. Oh, Windows. Okay, Windows. Yeah, totally. No context. That's what happened with no context. When I see 2K in anything, I'm automatically thinking NBA 2K because my brother is always talking about it, always playing it. So Windows 2K25. I didn't know it was out either. Or did I? No, I didn't. Wasn't there something in between 2018, R2, and now? I hope so. Anyways, I'm sure NBA 2K25 is out, and also Windows 2K25. Oh, Spatacoli. Sorry, I'm going to say it like that every time. Spatacoli. It isn't. It's in a canary channel of insiders. Oh, gotcha. Oh, he's got the insider. Okay, so he's a Windows insider, and it's on the canary channel release. Windows 2K25. That is awesome. Let's see. Hey, yeah, Tally, I agree with PC Geek. Yeah, it's Plex server. It's got to be OTA TV. You got to fill it up. That's what I was talking about. Hello, everyone. Host offsite backups. There you go. Host offsite backups for friends, too. Yeah, hopefully they're real good friends, because sometimes, there's a lot of liability with someone else's data. Daisy. Oh, will you do a YouTube video on more DevOps and Git? Maybe. Yes, I will. I will. Because I sprinkle some in every now and then. Those are tough topics, though. Like, I really enjoy them. But, the algorithm doesn't. I say the algorithm, but it really means the people. So a lot of times I create them, and while they are well received, they're just not as popular. So I have one on Flux that's pretty popular. It's one of the few. But yeah, so DevOps and Git. I'm curious what you want to see. So I have some GitOps stuff. I assume that's what you're talking about, GitOps type stuff, because that's where DevOps and Git kind of meet. It's doing infrastructure code stuff. Yeah, I mean, I have lots of stuff. I I try to mix it in. But I do have something that's bubbling up to the top of my backlog that will tie in with my Colo stuff. And plus, that's what I'm saying. With my Colo stuff, I want to go as much infrastructure as code as I possibly can. So, yeah. How about yeah? I'll stop spoiling everything. Today, I'm just in a spoiler type mood. I've been spoiling everything. Well, maybe you guys haven't been picking up hints. Tally. Yup. TrueNAS and mirrored VDEVs. All right. Build up an old NAS, which led to chaos. I figured I'd build a new one with cleaner VDEV layout, larger disk. Yeah, man. I've been down that path twice. I made that mistake twice of doing RAID Z2 6 disk twice. And you know, it's great until you run out of space, and if you're in a bind, then you know it's expensive upgrade. You really get yourself into a jam. You can, right? Especially if you're HomeLab or you're doing this at home. Do a RAID Z2 6 disk or however many disk. You get close to the end of that, and then the only way to upgrade that pool and expand the volume is to replace every disk and expand the volume. And then you think, well, I don't want to do that. I'll do RAID Z2 or something else. Well, now you got to go and buy those drives or put that data somewhere else in the meantime. And so I'm at this point now where I have no temporary place to put my data. It's too big. It's too big for anything. Too big for anything I have. So I have no temporary spot to put it except for, backed up to the cloud. Not even all my stuff is backed up to the cloud because it's so big, and I feel guilty for putting that much stuff in the cloud and only paying what I do. But anyways, yeah, I can get you in some jams, but that's, I learned after doing that twice that I'm just going to do, mirrored VDEVs and grow by 2. But someone mentioned this too. You could still do RAID Z2 and just replace some of the drives ahead of time and not expand your pool. So you could budget out the money you had for drives over time. Just replace 1, 2, 3, here and there, 4, 5, and then maybe by the time you get to the 6th one, then you can expand. So, but that takes a lot of planning and a lot of discipline to say, I'm buying one drive, this week, and I'm going to buy one drive next month, and I'm going to buy, you basically get on a drive subscription, and by the time you roll over, you start back over. So, but yeah, but then on the other side, with RAID Z2, with mirrored VDEVs, now I got to buy the same drive make and model for a long time. So you got to be committed either way. You got to be committed to, if you're going to be, slowly expanding your drives with your over time on a pool of RAID Z2 or whatever it is, or you got to be disciplined enough to say, hey, you got to make wise choices, I guess I'd say up front. And for me, I went with 14 terabyte drives. I know in like 5 years, it's probably not going to be a great choice, but I didn't want to go higher than that because they're pretty expensive. So I tried to find like a good breaking point where I don't have to worry about these drives like going away in 4 or 5 years, but at the same time, they're not the most expensive ones that are out there now. It's tough. It's tough. And I'm not a storage person. I'm just, I'm just like some guy that has TrueNAS who's done a few things. So, but yeah, it's fun for sure. It's interesting to figure out that type of stuff. But I nailed it. As soon as you said you were only getting half of your storage based on the raw size of. Oh yeah, I know what he's doing. I know what he's doing. Okay, Dylan Royal Gaming. Sorry. I update my Proxmox server to the latest version. Hey, Dylan, that is awesome. I noticed Proxmox had a ton of updates over the last couple of days. If you're on their unstable or whatever they're calling them updates, basically the free ones. Yeah, I noticed they'd had a ton of updates. I assume you're talking about major versions. Probably more of an accomplishment. But yeah, I just patched I feel like I patched my Proxmox servers 3 times in the last 2 weeks, which is a lot, which is awesome. Again, going back to updates, I know some people hate updates and some people hate firmware updates. I love them. I love them so much. I'm optimistic when it comes to updates. I always think they fix stuff, and I know a lot of people are very pessimistic about updates and just think, what's this gonna break now? But I don't know. I'm an optimist when it comes to updates, and I think because I know behind that update is some product owner or some developer some engineer who cares about this. So I don't know. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why I like updating stuff so much. But I'm optimistic when it comes to updates. Even Windows updates. I'm like, give them to me. All of them. Give me all the updates. Benny Bins, what's the wife's plan with the HomeLab if you kick the bucket? Yeah, gosh forbid. No, hey, my wife isn't technical. She'll likely sell everything, throw it away. No, I've thought about this. A lot of people have asked me. This is 100% legit question. Like if I go right now, there's a whole lot of stuff going on in here that it'll run for a long time. I got things set up pretty good to where, she might have to pull the power on the whole server rack and plug it back in. And then things will just kind of self-heal themselves. But yeah, I mean, this is kind of a morbid thing, but yeah, there is no real plan. I haven't told her. I should document it at some point. Sounds kind of morbid. It's like funeral planning. No one wants to do it, but it's a good idea to do so you don't leave that responsibility on the people who have to pick up the pieces, because they're probably, not in the right state of mind because they might or whatever it is. This is taking all kinds of turns. But no, seriously, I should write something down. I've thought about it in my head. I've thought about, like, what would my wife do? I have a feeling that my younger brother would come in and he would be like, oh, I know what's going on. Because he likes tech stuff, but he's not as techy. And he would just, like, try to figure it out. And if he couldn't figure it out, he would throw my whole server rack in his truck and bring it to his house. And he'd be like, Tim probably wanted me. Which yeah, I would want him to have it. But no, that's a good question. I should write something out that says what to do in case of emergency and teach her how to securely wipe every single drive that I own. Step-by-step instructions on how to securely wipe every drive. And that might mean, taking a hammer to them, or it might mean wiping them properly with stuff that we have. No, it's a great question. I've never really... I've thought about it so many times because people have asked me, but I've never really talked about it. Maybe I should write it down. All I know is things will run on their own for a while. Certificates will get renewed. Updates will happen. Well, not all updates. Actually, no updates will stop happening. Maybe on my deathbed, I would turn on auto updating real quick, and then turn on GitOps auto approve every single PR that comes from a bot. And then we'd be smooth sailing for a little bit. You guys would get your document. No, it's a great question. Comes up every now and then. I do think about this in my head. But right now, there was zero plan. There was zero plan. And it's kind of sad. I'm leaving. That'd be a lot for her to try and figure out. So I should write it down. It's not fair to have all of this going on and her not know what the heck. So anyways, that would probably be something I would do if I knew it was coming. If I knew it was coming, absolutely I would. I'd start doing it myself. I'd be like, we're shutting all this down. Sorry, pushing all my public stuff, making it all open source, hosted in GitHub pages, all static, live on forever, and then shut everything down, wipe every drive, have a huge sale. I don't know. This is getting more about. All right, next topic. It's a good topic though. It comes up a lot. Gifted subs. This is going back to the translation from German, from Deutsche to English. No problem. Welcome. Just built the HomeLab. Noise Marine. Just built a HomeLab inside of my HomeLab because I tried breaking production network equipment. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. Having a test environment, right? Yeah, or a lower, a QA, or whatever you want to call it. A non-prod environment is good to have. If your HomeLab, it's kind of your production environment. So I totally agree. It's good to have a non-prod version of stuff. Sometimes that's very hard to do, especially when it comes to networking and stuff like that. It's hard to do. But yeah, if you have something important on a VM, either take snapshots of it or spin up another one and test it out. But yeah, I agree. Networking equipment makes it tough. Maybe you need to get some more in there. Real quick on the follows, I'm sorry if I've been ignoring them and not meaning to. I read, thanks for the follow. Jan, thanks for the follow. Dude, Virtual Alex, did I say that one? I don't know if I did. I apologize. Virtual Alex, thanks for the resub. Prime, thank you so much. 7 months. How's it going? I think I might have said it. I'm not sure. But I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Sorry, thought I'd go back to Twitch notifications, and then I thought I was smart and put them right next to the stream elements, so they're side by side, and it made it work. Busy Geek, I caught most of your collab with RaidOwn the other night. It was awesome. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it was pretty good. Like RaidOwn and I, Brett, we've talked. We're in another Discord with some other YouTubers, and we've talked quite a few times, but never really talked like, you know, one-on-one until the other day. And so yeah, we streamed. We talked about all kinds of stuff. It was kind of great. It was kind of great, like being a guest on someone else's stream, because it's like no prep, no prep. Like this, I know that, you know, I do some prep, even though it doesn't look like I do prep. I do prep for this. But at the same time, there's still a piece of me that knows, like, hey, I have to be in control of the show the whole entire time. It's just me and you guys, but you guys only see me. So there's a lot of stress that comes along with that. But when I was on RaidOwn's YouTube live stream, I was just like, I was just a guest in his house. It was pretty nice. But anyways, super nice guy. He's pretty awesome. Like, we've talked every now and then, but I literally joined the stream 3 minutes before it started. I was the reason why it was 2 minutes late, because I had, imagine this, I had all kinds of audio problems because StreamYard and stuff like that. You know, he did StreamYard through a web browser, and macOS is like, hey, I forgot what your audio is for your web browser. Anyways, but I joined really quick, and I was like, dude, you know, this is the first time I've ever talked to you like one-on-one. Let's do this. So anyways, we've been trying to get together for a long time. He's a pretty cool dude, pretty chill. He's got a pretty good sense of humor too. I love it when he calls things butt cheeks. For some reason, that is his go-to, and it makes me laugh every time. Every time when he doesn't like something, like, dude, that's totally butt cheeks. I'm like, what? Who describes something as butt cheeks? Anyways, RaidOwn does. Brett does. Hey, real quick, dude, Noise Marine. Hey, thanks for the resub. 1 month, tier 1. Thank you so much. Or resub, tier 1. 3 months. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Noise Marine. Thank you. Thank you so much. Minus Tim, my issue with Uptime Kuma is it gets slow with a lot of monitors. Yes, it does. Absolutely, it does. And, you know, I don't mean to, since we're talking about things we don't, you know, really, since we're talking about some of the challenges with Uptime Kuma, I have some challenges too, and it's that the MySQL database, the SQLite database gets corrupt all the time. I feel like, man, I get it. I was thinking this through the other day. It's like, man, if I was the Uptime Kuma developer, I'd rewrite this whole thing, and I'd connect to either, you know, Postgres or MySQL or MariaDB or something else. Then I thought about that, and I thought, no, I wouldn't. Why would I rewrite the thing that I've worked on so hard only to get the same thing but a different output? I want to do new stuff. So I totally get it. You know, developers a lot of the time always want to do new stuff. So it's hard for them to revisit old stuff. Anyways, I'm not saying that that's why developers choose to do that. I'm saying me, first I was putting myself in their shoes saying, yeah, I would rewrite this. And then I realized, no, I wouldn't at all because it's hard to revisit some of that stuff. But yeah, it does get slow. And the SQLite database drives me crazy because I have to have consistent volume. I have to actually write it to disk. I don't want to write it to disk. I want database. Anyways, yeah, I totally agree. There's a lot of good there. There's so much good in Uptime Kuma. A couple of beefs. That's definitely one of them too. Let's see. How many is that? That's a lot. I've had no issues. I've had like 300. So this is going back to your monitor. Surprised that it gets slow, though it's just Node.js running. Yeah, it can. It can because I think the front end is Vue. Front end's either Vue or React. And yeah, I can't remember how many monitors I have. I have like 2 separate dashboards too. I don't know. I don't have 300, but I could see how it could get slow, you know, especially if you have any list that you have. So in front end, if you have a list, you know, typically the more items you have in the list, the more memory it's going to use. And if it's something animated or whatever, it's going to use data, or sorry, it's going to use memory and more processing. But maybe they're just not virtualizing that list or something like that. I'd probably virtualize that list. This is all React talk. But anyways, lists are tough. Lists are tough in general, especially when you have really long lists in front end. It'd be tough. Oh, this is going back to that. Yeah. Look at you split it. How's it going, man? Good to see you. Sirius 1 1x. Sirius 1 1x. He is serious about his ones. Since we have Jellyfin and Plex, etc., do we have something like that for music? Sirius 1 1x. Yes, absolutely you do. If you're using Plex, so I'm just going to assume you're using Plex. If you are using Plex, there's this thing that Plex made. It's called Plex Amp, and it's actually really awesome. So if you're a Plex user, I don't even think you need to be a subscriber, and you add your music collection to Plex, then you get this awesome app on your phone that looks like Spotify, acts like Spotify, but it's all of your local music. Like, it's really well done, like visualization, artwork, even like they have these AI personas, but really it will local analyze all your music, kind of categorize it, and then you could have these guest DJs come on, if you're basically putting on random, who will do different things. And when I say do different things, it's not like, an AI voice saying stuff. It will shuffle up your playlist based on the DJ, the virtual DJ that you pick. Like sometimes that virtual DJ, if you pick them, if you play a song, they're going to queue up some more songs that are in the same genre, right? Or they're going to, if you pick a different DJ, they're going to play 2 more songs by the same artist, right? Or if you pick another DJ, they're going to pick, I don't know, songs from the same year. I don't know, but it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So anyways, that doesn't solve it for Jellyfin. If you're using Plex, I would check out Plex Amp because it's really awesome. If you still have local music, because it's great. It's great. Other than that, I don't know. That's tough. Like streaming music, I feel like most of these media places, media softwares have kind of took over, video, and now they're trying to figure out music. Plex figured that out really well. It's hard to see, if someone else is doing that. But yeah, I don't know. That's my only suggestion. Once, I attempted Plex Amp once, didn't like it. And then I attempted it again later on. I gave it a second chance. I'm like, okay, I get it now. I totally get it now. It's pretty awesome. And if you have FLAC or you have lossless files, it can play lossless too. It's pretty awesome. Mediasonic, there you go. There's one. Yeah, man. Modest Tim, we have very generous quotas. Yeah, that's when we were talking about the API. Let's see. Let me grab a couple that looks kind of new. We're about to track a few billion data points. Would love to chat about it with you sometimes. Man, that is wild. That is wild. Yeah, I don't know if I can offer anything to that conversation. But yeah, it sounds pretty awesome. Plex and Plex Amp, yeah, that's what we're talking about. Can't wait to get my dark mode sticker. Kraken Binary. Hey, yeah, thanks for ordering one. Appreciate it. I hope you like it. Like my wife designed it, like I said. I think it's pretty cool. Super high quality sticker, vinyl, you name it. It's pretty awesome. And I actually I silently kind of put them on sale, like a BOGO offer. So anyways, buy more than one, you're gonna get a percentage off. So just because I want people to get them and get them in their hands. Anyways. D-Darko, oh, thanks for the shop purchase. I really appreciate it. D-Darko, do you know anything about firewall with local internet connection? Because I'm having issues with my Norton Firewall. Oh man, D-Darko. Let's see. Do I know anything about firewalls? So you're running an application firewall on your machine that's Norton Firewall, and you're having issues. I don't know what those issues are. I don't know what your issues are. I do know that, so I don't know if you're paying for Norton, but honestly, I haven't found like having a security suite like Norton, for me personally, hasn't been too beneficial with if you're running Windows. You probably are running Windows. Windows has Defender built in, and it has Windows Firewall built in. Between those two, if you have those on, you're generally pretty good. You're actually really good. Like Microsoft knows the Windows operating system now. So anyways, I can't help you out here. I don't want to say just disable your firewall because that's not why you have a firewall. You obviously have it there and you have it turned on. I wish I knew more. But in general, you should allow firewalls, anything going out. Well, I don't know about anything. But if you're having problems, allow all outgoing for a little bit. Just make sure, generally, you want to allow all outgoing. And then on the incoming, don't allow anything to come in unless it originated from local. I don't know. That's tough, though. That's tough. But if you're on your local network, just stop the firewall anyways. Stop the firewall. See if everything's good. Turn it back on. That does, and if blocking something, obviously it's something with Norton Firewall. The other thing you could do, I'm sure the firewall has a way to do this. Reset all your rules. Go back to the default. It's going to nag you all the time and tell you like, hey, all these connections are going crazy and trying to get out, and just reapprove all your stuff. So me personally, that's what I do. If my dad's like, hey, my Norton Firewall is messed up, first thing I'd say, turn it off. You know, if you're on a local network, it should be fine for the most part. Turns it off, and my dad says, hey, now I can get to the internet. Great. So let's figure out what's going on with your firewall. First thing I would do, look at his rules. But, you know, what I would really want to do is reset the thing to default. You know, reset it to default. It should just work. That's my suggestion. Sorry, it's probably not the best one, but that's the path I would go down. Then I would say, Dad, like, Windows Firewall is pretty good. Don't pay for that. Let's see, Pizza Geek. Well, that didn't work. LOL. Put the lights in white mode. If I put one light in white mode, oh yeah. Yes, I have one too. Beyond TV app. Yeah, there you go. Caster Labs. Come on, man. The best part of home labbing is the 24/7 maintenance involved. I think this is going back to my colo. Hey, I'm still gonna have a home lab. I mean, I'm just moving my public workloads to a private cloud. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I'm absolutely still gonna have my home lab. All my stuff that I run, all my automation here, my home assistant, all of my quirky 3 DNS with VIPs. Yeah, it's all staying here. It's all staying here. My basically gonna be business, strictly business in my colo. The stuff at home is gonna be non-business. How about that? Modest Tim, if you ever need a Rackspace in North Carolina or Kansas City, hit me up. All right, yeah, all kinds of people offering Rackspace. I know Yocto did too. I appreciate it, you guys. It's super kind. I know Tim, I appreciate it. Yocto also offered. Fortunately, I hooked up with someone local before you guys offered, but I do appreciate the offer. Awesome. If it falls through, I'll be shipping them. I'll be shipping them either to YWS, unless he's full. YWS is pretty popular these days. Power and AC savings. Yeah, absolutely. That is one of the ways that one of the benefits. It is absolutely power and AC benefits. It's a good point. I don't have AC in the room that they're in now, although it doesn't get that warm. It's in the basement. But stable internet too, right? And then public IPs, static ones, a non-residential IP too. That's kind of nice. I feel like some companies are like, I don't know. I feel like they're onto my IP. Like every now and then I get prompts, I get more capture prompts than normal. And I think that's because I host a ton of stuff out of my, who knows? All right, guys. Wow, I keep going late, but that's okay. It's okay with me. Like, I feel good now. Like, it's funny. Like before the stream, I was talking about how the last couple of days, I feel like I'm waking up with a hangover. Before the stream, I was just kind of like, man, can I do this? Now feel great. So I appreciate you guys being here with me and to talk about this kind of stuff because I love to talk about this stuff. Let me see. Let's do this last one. Close to last one. Oh, Bookmage would be interested to hear how other people have prepped for decommission of HomeLab. Leave README docs, swipe, set up a wipe script, or bootable USB drive, boot and nuke. Yeah, good question. Yeah, this is it's real. It's a topic that people don't talk about often. I mean, it's just like funeral planning in general. People don't want to talk about what happens when they die, but when you die, you leave a lot of stuff. You leave a lot of things open for someone else to take care of. And I feel guilty. Like, look at all this stuff. Haven't had that conversation with my wife. This is only the stuff you see. But yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. You'd have to decide, do you want your stuff to live on or not? And then probably not. And then you'd have to, yeah, wipe. You just need a big red button behind a piece of glass that when you break it, you know, just like in case of emergency, break this thing. When you break it, it's going to call some Home Assistant script, and it's just going to start wiping everything. You know, just wipe everything. And then have it flash or something, another Home Assistant light flash one last time when it's done, and then everything's gone. And be like, yep, you could sell it. I don't know. It is interesting to think about. So I don't know. Hey, thank you all so much for being here. I apologize. I went a little bit over. I try to stay true to 1 hour, but hey, if we're talking, sometimes I get a little bit caught up talking. I really appreciate all of the follows. There was follows, there was bits, there was gifted subs, there was subs, there was resubs. Thank you guys all so much. I really appreciate it. And yeah, thanks for being here. I mean, that's the only thing that I ask for, is that people come and talk about stuff. That enough fills up my nerd brain, and I appreciate it. Appreciate it. If you want to talk about stuff, if you threw something in chat and I didn't see it, I apologize. I do have to wrap it up. But if you want to continue the conversation, we have a Discord full of almost 10,000 people who talk about this stuff. There are a lot of familiar faces in here, names in here that are also in the Discord that will talk about stuff. We talk about all kinds of stuff, tech, non-tech, ton of HomeLab stuff. So if you think HomeLab, you think, what do you think? Storage, hardware, networking, containers. We have channels for everything. So I encourage you to join. If you don't know how to join, it's !Discord, or just search TechnoTim Discord or discord.gg/TechnoTim. Basically, it's hard not to find it. You can Google it and you can get right in. But super laid back, super nice people, very smart people, super low ping. I think I ping maybe once a week, if that. The other people, if they ping you, that's on them. So anyways, I encourage you to join. I will be back next Saturday here on Twitch. Birthday's coming up. Not next. Oh yeah, I think next week might be my birthday. See, I haven't looked at a calendar, but might be a birthday stream. We'll see. I need to look at a calendar. Anyways, that's not important. I'll be here next Saturday, whether it's my birthday or not. And then I will have something out on YouTube. I'm going to try to commit to Monday. And that topic came up during the stream. So if you're interested in one of the many topics we talked about today, look for it. And if not, hopefully the algorithm finds you. Anyways, have a great Saturday. Have a wonderful weekend. Try to enjoy it. Thank you so much for everything again. I'll see you all in Discord. All right. Well, take care. Have a great rest of the day and be good to each other. Take care, folks.